Hello, 6th grade and 8th grade. Happy Easter. I hope that you had a nice holiday weekend with your family and that you stayed safe at home. I have a pretty short lesson for you guys today, so a good chance for you to just catch up and make sure that you're meeting our expectations. I'm going to show you real quick on the screen how to get where you need to go in this lesson to make it possible to do. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on classwork. And when I get there, I'm going to find the classwork that's today's date. So today is 4/14/20. So that's the one I'm going to open. I see that it has some instructions here. It says, watch the YouTube video while you fill this out. I will be teaching you in the video to help you answer the questions. And the quiz can be found in the same section as this assignment. So first, we're going to open up our lesson plan sheet for today. And we're going to follow along with what it tells us to do. We're going to start with our do now. Today's do now question says, when I was growing up, I loved to watch a show on TV that was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's where the idea of Daniel Tiger came from. He was a character on Mr. Rogers' TV show. On it, Mr. Rogers used to tell us that during hard and scary times, we should always look for the helpers. They will inspire us and they will keep us safe. So today I'd like for you to write 4 or more sentences telling me how you have been a helper. And when you're finished, press play on the video. Go ahead and start now. All right, so if you've pressed play again, that means that you have done the do now, that you've met my expectation of 4 or more sentences because you will not be able to get points for less than that. And we're going to see what our next thing to do is. The next thing to do is our vocabulary exam. Take your Unit 11 vocab exam. You can find this under where you found your classwork. So switching tabs back to classwork. Okay, so it's in here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, it hasn't posted yet, but it will post for you tomorrow, and it's going to be right here, and it's going to say vocabulary quiz, so you can click that and you can fill that in. After you've done the vocabulary quiz, you're going to highlight this in green and go to the next activity. Writing. Today in the video, I am going to show you some magnetic ways to start stories. You're going to write 3 of the magnetic ways to start stories here, and then after, you're going to go on to the next document, and you're going to write the first paragraph of your narrative. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our document that I attached for you called Magnetic Ways to Start Stories. We see here that there are a bunch of different ways that you could start a narrative to catch your reader's attention and to get them to really engage in what you're talking about. The first one is called dynamic dialogue. The example here is, Mom, the teacher told me to write an essay on the dog, but he won't stay still, said Joey. So using a quote or something funny one of your characters is going to say to start your story. We also have the setting sketch. Here's our example. Jill pressed her head against the back window of the car, watching the snow fall softly on the countryside. That could be a good way to start your story too. I personally have the hardest time getting started writing, so using one of these techniques will help you to get started and to know your work is good. Next one, sorry, that was weird. Ooh. Next one over here, we have the character and action. It says, Billy crawled through the cave. Jesse danced as though, so you're using a character and what they're doing to catch the reader's attention. You can start with a simile or a metaphor. The puppy's fur was as soft as silk. That is an excellent way to start a story. We also have, how do I erase this? Here we go. We also have character sketch. I watched Granny wrangle the steer through the gate faster than cowboys, twice her size and half her age. So a really exciting way to introduce a character to start your story. Strong feelings. The longer I lingered outside the door, the more my heart raced. You could start with a flashback. If only I had known that a colony of bees had made a cozy home in the tree that I chose to climb that day. You could start with an automatopoeia, which is a word that sounds like the sound, right? Whoosh. It only took one gust of wind to blow the clean white sheets off of the clothesline and into the mud. And then our last option here is to start it with a question. Was it possible for Lydia to win the luck lottery for a second time? You're going to go back to your worksheet for today. You are going to record 3. I think that was 12 of them. You're going to pick 3 of them here and write what their titles are. And then you're going to follow this instruction. Click on the document called My Personal Narrative and write the first paragraph of your narrative. Remember that your narrative is a true story about an experience that happened in your life. This is not a made-up or fictional story. So we go back to classwork. That said that we were looking for something called My Personal Narrative. I found it. I'm opening it, and I know that I need to write one paragraph, the first paragraph of my story on this document. So you'll see that and you'll be able to start there, okay? Now, after you're done writing that paragraph, you're not quite done yet. Mr. McDonough and I were touching base, and because we're doing a writing unit, which is really awesome, we need to also make sure that our reading skills are being kept up. So I would like for you to please set a timer and read 15 minutes of a Dear Book, and then write a summary for me of what you read in that Dear Book. If you need a Dear Book, please go to St. James School. There are books out on the tables for you. If you're in 8th grade, Miss LaRue has a copy of Warriors Don't Cry that you could use as your Dear Book, but you need to do those 15 minutes of reading, and then you're going to click Turn In on this. So guys, again, you're doing a do now, vocab, writing, reading, and then clicking Turn In, okay? You guys are going to do great. I can't wait to look at your stories and give you feedback. Have an amazing rest of your day.